Okay, and we are live, everybody. Welcome. So it's Laura Hall here, and the show is Come Cook With Me. I'm so glad to be here and getting started. And I apologize. I think that we're just a few minutes behind of getting started, so I so apologize. I just wanted to. We had a lot of activity going on just a few minutes ago here at the house. So I thought without the chaos, we'd just get started just a smidgen late. So if this is your first time joining me live, I just want to say welcome. And so a couple rules that we just kind of like to get out the door right away when we get started is I'd love for you to post in the comments, say hello, say who you are, where you're from. It's just really fun because I really love the interaction that goes on. Thanks for the love. I love the thumbs ups telling me that you're live with me. So it makes it so much more fun to kind of know where everyone is hailing from. We have people throughout the world actually tuning into these shows after we kind of get started. Now they don't usually hop on live while we get started, but they watch the reruns and just come on after we've updated and after we've posted. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining us, and I'm hoping that you're loving it. After we get this taped, what we do is we upload it to my YouTube channel, which if you want to catch any of my past recipes, you'll go to Lifestyle by Laura J on YouTube. So just go to YouTube and click on Lifestyle by Laura J, and you'll find all of the history of all of the cooking shows that we've done. So today's recipe, last week we made a chicken wrap roll-ups, and they were just absolutely, I don't know if any of you tried them, but they were thebomb.com. And what was so amazing with them, and we usually try to do Instant Pot and compare it to traditional cooking, slow cooker, or in that case, like last week, we made those in the oven. And while I'll have to say, the oven last week actually won out, because what happened, those roll-ups that we rolled up, all of those vegetables, yummy vegetables, they actually stayed crispy from the oven. So I was kind of surprised. I will say though, the juice that was in the Instant Pot, because it was pressure cooked, was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, unbelievable. So one lesson that I have learned ever since starting using this Instant Pot is always, no matter what you're making, keep that broth, because the broth turns into an amazing soup. It's just absolutely just always. I haven't had a recipe yet that I haven't kept the broth, that any kind of broth was made. So that's just something that I have learned. So another thing that we do, just so that you're new, if you're new, you'll understand what we actually do, is we take last week's, whoever makes a comment, we put all of those names in the random generator. The only thing I haven't done is gone back to the YouTube video just to see if those were shared, but I'm gonna need to do that. So as I get used to getting those uploaded, I think I might pick from both categories, because I think we did have some shares from the YouTube video itself as well. So I will go back and just look at the history to make sure that we keep a running total of all of those that get shared. So you'll get entered into the pot. So what we do with the random generator, if you just make a comment like you're doing right now, what you do by saying hello, where you're from, welcome back, whatever your message is, you get entered to win some really cool products. These spices are absolutely phenomenal. So if you've never had these spices before, they're Dano's and they're original recipe. What I love about them is that they're no GMO, no low sodium. Let me read what Dano puts into these. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. They go on everything. So, I mean, there's just no low sodium, no sugars, they're gluten-free, no MSG, and no GMOs. I love that, and Dano makes these. He just does it. They're come out of Kentucky. See the Kentucky Proud? Woo, 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 Dano. So he's on my team. Many of you know, some of you may not. I'm a nutrition coach, right? So he's on our team doing these wonderful products, but he's a chef also. And take a look. He's got two different designs. But this one's a little bit spicier, and this one's a little bit more like more Italian, sweeter. I guess I wouldn't call it sweet. Dano, if you plug in, tell me how you differentiate the two. I mean, I know this one's spicier, but you win. You get to win these spices. Yahoo! Yes, exactly. So we had a lot of people who tuned in last week, and the random generator, are you ready for this? And this is a girl who has come on this show, I think, almost every single time. I don't know. Jennifer, I hope you're watching. So Jennifer Barkdahl, we are Facebook friends, so at least I can send you a message. And that's the other thing. I'm becoming, since I started this show, I mean, I've had a lot of Facebook requests. I haven't gotten through them all. But if you don't get through to me as far as getting me to approve the whole Facebook thing, just follow me, because this is, you'll get, if you just hit follow first in the comments, like in Facebook, all you have to do is hit follow first, and every time I come on with a video, you'll see me, it'll pop up first. So that's one of the things, if you're not familiar with that, to make sure that you do. But what is phenomenal about this is, Jennifer, you win both of them. So what I don't have from you, Jennifer, is I need your address. So send me a message, send me your address, and we'll ship you your own set of spices. But these are actually, I cook with these all the time, and you can get them in some stores in Kentucky, but they're not everywhere. And I will connect you to Dano. If some of you who have won are almost getting to the point where you're running low, believe it or not, you must be really big cooks like me. So I'll connect you so you can get a hold of Dano as well. These are phenomenal. So Jennifer, congratulations. And then the second way that you earn a prize that we kind of do is I love to share my nutrition. I'm so incredibly passionate. If you followed me for a while, you know that I'm absolutely passionate about helping people get healthy and learn to live a lifestyle that is just so beautiful. So with that said, we do a random generator for anybody who shares this video. And like I said, I'll go back to the YouTube and we'll keep a random generator for anyone who shares any of the YouTube videos as well, and you'll be added for each week. So this week's winner is going to be so excited. Okay, so this week's winner, you're going to get a chance, get this. We have a new shake drop that is coming on the 15th. I believe it's the 15th. And it was released when we went to convention. It's called Cookies and Cream. And I swear the last shake drop, I was like, oh my God, how can we keep getting these things better and better and better? And we do. I just don't know how we do it. But Gail Webb, yeah, Gail Webb, you're the winner. So you're gonna get a choice, Gail. I'm gonna send you a private message. And yeah, you're local here, so it's gonna be easy for me to get it to you. You're gonna have a choice between cookies and cream, because I brought a couple canisters home. One is already open, so no one gets the open one, but Gail, you'll get the unopened one. But that one's gonna get released on Tuesday. But Gail, if you don't want cookies and cream, and I will have to say, if you do get cookies and cream, you better be ready to be sharing that, because your kiddos are gonna wanna have it right away in the morning. But you'll also have a choice of the mocha. I still have the mocha, and I have the peach mango. So you'll get a chance to pick. So congratulations to our winners. All right, so let's get started with what we've got going on. Many of you know who follow me, I love to cook with garlic. I'm very much into spices, and I don't do a lot of measuring. So don't be upset with me about that, because what's nice about these recipes that I do is that they're so extremely flexible. So you kind of will identify the kind of heat that you're looking for, the things that you love about, what I do is that I use a wide variety of spices. I use a wide variety of herbs. I really try to stick with non-GMO. I really try to stick with, the cleanest products that we can, food that we can put in. Because let's face it, we're already surrounded with tons of toxins in our life and in our environment. So you really want to cook as clean as possible. So that's what I really strive to do. And you're gonna love this. We're doing a pulled pork. So it's gonna end up being like a pulled pork, but it's called a carnita. And a carnita comes from as little teeny meats that have been cooked and braised over a long period of time so that you can kind of shred them. And so we're going to make corn pork carnitas, but we're also going to use a shell of a corn tortilla when we present. And I'm also going to do a lighter version when I actually plate everything. And I'm going to do the lighter version with using lettuce cups. So I'm going to use some of the butter lettuce, and we'll make them both. You can make a tortilla out of the lettuce cup, which is a little bit more healthy, or you can choose corn tortilla. And I love the corn tortilla because corn and pork, there's just something about it that well, I don't know, corn tortillas for me, they're the bomb. If you're going to splurge, that would be the one that I would splurge with. So let's go ahead and show you what I did. The very first thing I did when I got home, and so many of you know, normally I shop on Wednesday, and it's called Come Shop With Me, but I rode the red-eye, I flew the red-eye home, and I got in really mid-morning yesterday. So I didn't have a chance to do any shopping, and we were in Vegas, that's where Celebration was. So we really didn't get a chance to do any shopping. And I honestly, I was trying to think, well, what am I gonna actually make? And when I got home, I realized that I had saved some of the vegetables from last week that were still fresh and they still look good. So we're gonna use some of those. And the salsa was amazing because I just made it last week. So still have a lot of great salsa. So I thought, well, let's pick something Mexican, and I haven't done anything with the pulled pork before. So I thought that's gonna be just perfect. So that's what we're gonna get started with. So what we do is we take garlic, and I actually don't have the container. I do have one in here, I believe. Yep, I do. So we start off with garlic. And what you wanna do is you wanna pick out your organic garlic. Now, I know that this is shown throughout the world, and I've got some people who are following me that are at some military bases. So hello, I'm glad that I'm able to share this and share the show with you all. And thanks for joining us. Thanks everyone for joining us. I mean, it's really my blessing and in my heart and my passion to be able to provide these fun shows for you. So I really do appreciate you following. But garlic, you want to make sure it's organic. Try to find an organic garlic no matter what part of the world you're in. That's really an important piece. Because of being in the United States, I really like to pick my garlic from California. Mine comes out of Gilroy, California. So whoop, whoop, anybody from California or Gilroy area, you know why I love you so much. But organic. Canada has some great organic products, and sometimes I'll get the garlic from them as well. So what I do is I take the garlic and I just put it into a pan that I can put into the oven, and I slow roast the garlic in a little bit of olive oil. And this is just, oh, again, when that smell-o-vision comes out, woo, when you can smell the great things here, you're just gonna absolutely love it. So, slow roasted it. So what happens when you slow roast the garlic, it just releases the richness and the development of the garlic. Instead of being hot and tight with taste, it's robust and very flavorful. I mean, it's almost got like such a great earthy, just a really rich garlic flavor. So we slow roast that. That's what we get started with. So once that's slow roasted, I do a marinade, and I'll show you what happens in this marinade. What I would have done is I would have marinated this overnight, but I was limited on time because I did the shopping right after I worked out and showed you what was in the cart. Again, if I had done this on Wednesday, I would have had a whole 24 hours to have this marinating, but I didn't, and that's okay. It's still gonna be wonderful, and you'll see because this is how it looks. So this is a beautiful, beautiful marinade. I'm gonna hold it up really close to the camera so you can take a look. You can see it's loaded with garlic, and well, I'll show you all the things that I have in it. But I literally get started with several herbs, but I start off with cutting the lime in half, right? And then I use a spoon. This is important. There's juicers too, but you can just use a spoon. You don't have to have an extra gadget just to do this. But what I do is I dig in to get all of the meat of the lime out. I mean, it's just beautiful. You want to get everything out, squeeze it all in, and you're going to have a whole bottom. You'll see this is all liquid on the bottom, And that's how much, that's all that liquid. That's how much juice that I actually put in. Now, the other spices and herbs that I used, well, I put some of those garlic cloves in. I used jalapeno. And I used some habanero. And again, I like it hot. This is going to be a hot one, so hang with me. You can cut down on the spice. If it's too spicy, don't add as much as I did. So I added 2 habaneros, and I added 2 jalapenos. And the lime juice I did until I could have enough juice that was just going to fill. So I think if I looked in where I have all the limes, I think I might have used 5 per bag, maybe 6. And let me show you the other herbs and spices. Other herbs. I took my cilantro, and what I do, many of you know that if you're working with a fresh herb, what you want to do is you want to take that bunch, and I'm just going to show you for the purpose here, and use your scissor. You really want to use your scissor to actually get the zest. If you could have slow motion on this, you would see that as I'm cutting, you would be getting the zest. So this is exactly what I did. I try not to get the stems. I don't like to have the stems in too many things. So see those stems? I'll pull back and just get more of the flour. But when you snip it off into whatever you're putting it in, whether it's the pot or you're putting it in the bag, that zest just permeates. Like right now, it's just, I can just smell it. It just permeates. And it just goes right into your container. That's really outstanding. All right, so that's what I put into the bag. And then I also put in, I have this herbs of the Providence. It's a mixture of oregano and let's see, no, I know they have it. Okay, so we have oregano, rosemary, marjoram, thyme, savory, and sage. That's what's in this one. So I really like that because it's kind of a bundle pack. Lovely. I use a ton of cumin. Cumin is really important. The other thing that's really important about any of the spices that I use, I really love to get the non-GMO symbol. You want to make sure that you get the non-GMO, organically grown. So it's organic and it's non-GMO. That's a really important feature. Same thing with the Cajun spices. They also have that label. You can see it that way. So it's organic, non-GMO. So Cajun, cayenne pepper, and chipotle. I love chipotle. Chipotle gives this smokiness. It's just, oh, I just love it. So good. So that's what's all in my bag. In addition, I put a little bit of both of Dan-O's. So I put a little bit of both of Dan-O's. And I'm going to actually put a little bit more, seeing how when I see how this gravy, the soup kind of comes out. It's not really a soup, but you understand. That is really so simple, right? So most of it's just the marinade. All right, so now I've got my Instant Pot here over here to the left, and it's not hot, so I can pick it up. So I'm just started, and what I've done is I put in bone broth. That's what's in there. Plus what I just snipped off. I just snipped off the cilantro. But the other thing I've done is I've taken my bone broth. This is my broth. This is what ends up turning it, once the meat is cooked, you can use this broth afterward, and it's just amazing. So I have, let's see, I think I'll end up having about 6 of these inside each container. So I'm just going to pour the rest of them in. But the bone broth, again, I love to use bone broth. It's just so, it's so good for you. It has low sugars. This one in particular I'll show, it's kitchen, it's called Kitchen Basics. But it's 10 grams of protein for each serving, which one serving is a container. 50 calories, I mean, really low in calories. The cholesterol is very low. The sodium is so low. There's no sugars added, and it's a lot of protein. So that's why I love this particular product so much. Okay, so the other thing that's gonna go in the pot, I'm just gonna separate these out equally. The garlics. So when you're actually going to be cooking the slow cooker version, it's going to need to cook for at least 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. In the Instant Pot, man, it is gonna cook so fast and it will pull apart. And that's what I love, the magic. Like if, you know, you're running behind the magic of this Instant Pot, if you have not invested in it, please, by all means, get the Instant Pot, because it's gonna change. I imagine it's probably gonna be just how the crock pot was when the crock pot was invented. It's gonna be what that is. When you actually have this device in your kitchen, you're not gonna really wanna use very much anything else. And believe it or not, I am gonna try to do that cheesecake. I've seen so many people have such great success, so I'm gonna really work hard at figuring that one out. Okay, so the other thing that's gonna go in here is I am going to add, there's about 4 tomatoes in here, so I'm gonna just divide them up equally. They're so red, so juicy. Okay, and because I've already chopped up the onion in the bags, I'm not gonna make any more onion in there. So that was the other thing I didn't tell you, is I have a chopped up onion in these bags too. But what I do have is some leftover vegetables from last week, and they're really great. They're still good. So what I'm gonna do is, see, I've mixed them all together. They're a medley of red, yellow, green peppers. There's some jalapeno in here, and there's some onions. So I'm just gonna divide that up equally and pop that in. So yummy. I just love the fact that they were still fresh to be able to use. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. And it's going to be this simple, so watch how simple this is. This is just great. I'm just going to open one of the bags up, and I'm going to dump the whole thing in, because, like I said, it would have been marinating, and you want all of those great things that have been giving all this flavor to the meat, and just pop the whole thing in. And for this, again, what you want to do is make sure that there is enough liquid that's going to cover the meat. And as long as the meat is covered in the liquid, which that is absolutely perfect, you'll be perfect. It'll be just great. And so, since we have the slow cooker to see which one's going to cook better, dump this guy in here. Oh, when I open up this bag, it's just so, the aroma is just so incredible. Oh, that looks great. Okay, I'll try to lift it up so you can see it as well. Okay. Now, because we like it a little bit spicy, you may or may not choose to do this, but I'm going to actually add in a little bit more of our Dano seasoning. And again, what I love about how I cook is I don't measure. I just look at how the juices are all looking inside. So that's how I decide it's going to be good. And I get this question asked a lot. Does it get too hot and too spicy the way that I do it? And it really doesn't. It's just amazing. Now sometimes the broth does, but the meat, not so much. So when you actually do this, if your broth is a little too much, all you need to do is add some more bone broth, and you'll get the mixture just about perfect. Okay, so we got a little Danos. I'm gonna add just a little bit more cumin. I love how cumin just makes everything taste so yummy. Alrighty, and I did save 1 jalapeno and 2 habaneros. I'm just going to put 1 of each of these in here. And in fact, I'm not even going to cut. I'm just going to let the aromas just go. And so I'll just pop that in just like that. And I'll get a big spoon to kind of stir that around. It smells heavenly. Just awesome. Okay, so the slow cooker, the crock pot, what I'm gonna do is to have it set on. I think I'm gonna have it set on high because it's late in the afternoon. You don't wanna have this cook for forever. I'm gonna get my lid on it. And I am gonna hit start. I wanna put it on high. You wanna have it on the high setting. high and hit start. And there you go. Perfect. So it's set and ready to go. The Instant Pot, what I love and how this actually works is, now I'll show you because I can lift this one up. Show you what it looks like. You can see inside right there. And so you can see that the liquids really cover it. And there is a line, there's a max line. I haven't even nearly touched it, so it's going to be perfect. So what I love about this is, you see this dial? This is really how the pressure cooker, it's a pressure cooker. It really works easily. But you set the dial on closed. And this particular recipe, I'm going to let it slow release. So when it's done, I'm not going to let it quick release the steam. If I were to quick release it, I would just turn it to this setting so you can see it right there. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it closed and I'm going to let it do a natural slow release. So it does take a little bit more, but this time, the time of it it's just 20 minutes. I mean, that's crazy. So you've reduced your cooking time from 20 minutes, and even with a slow release, maybe it's 10 extra minutes, but you'll see it's just going to pull apart. I'll make pictures and actually post the pictures below, versus the 4 hours that this is going to take. So it really is a time savings. And I will have to say, because of the way that it's pressurized, the meat, and I haven't tenderized the meat whatsoever, just the meat will cook differently because the pressure of the way that this is actually operating. It's really great science for the cooking, So what you do have to do is you have to put it in a lock position and make sure the dial is at the closed. You want to have it closed. And then I'm going to pick, you have a setting. I don't have the Mac Daddy. There are some really incredible machines out there. I just have like the medium line, middle of the road, and I got mine with a Bed Bath & Beyond coupon. I mean, I just thought it was great. But since I bought it, I'm thinking about kind of getting up and getting the next size up in a little while. I want to really get where I'm really good, because I've noticed some of the things that I've cooked, like when you look at the lasagna recipe, and yes, we made lasagna in this bad boy, when you I've scarred some of the bottom, and I know you can get extra liners and go online and get it. So but at any rate, that's the beauty of this machine. But I love how it just locks in place. You can't pick up you can't pick the lid up whatsoever. It's just locked in. So you heard it. Let me do it one more time. See how it locks? It just locks shut. That's what you do. And I'm going to hit meat. And I want to do medium. I hit medium. And so it's just going to, now it's doing its thing. Just did its magic, circling, and it's just going to go ahead and do that. Now, let me show you the sides that I'm going to make to go along with dinner. I wanted to share with you, too, a story. Last week, I made actually the yellow rice that my husband loves, but I didn't actually point it out to him. He's actually listening over there. So at any rate, I didn't tell him that I also made the cauliflower rice. So we had two rices to choose from. I had it out there, and if he paid attention, he would have seen that there was another pot, but he didn't open the lid. I know that was a little sneaky of me, but I really wanted him to see that the rice that I made with the cauliflower really turned out phenomenal. And so that's what we did. So when we were finished with dinner last week, I said, well, honey, how did you like the rice? No, I mean, anything different? He said, well, I noticed that you put some more spices, so it's a little different color. I noticed you put a little jalapeno in it. He said, I noticed that there's some cilantro in it, so I guess you must have just kind of used, spiced it up a little bit. And I said, well, as a matter of fact, I did. But it was cauliflower. Well, let me say he wasn't really happy with the fact that I kind of didn't tell him all of the pots to pick from. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. But I'm making the yellow rice, and I'm also making the cauliflower rice. And I think what I'm going to do is do a separate show on it. But I'm going to tell you the quick and dirty of how to make great cauliflower rice. I mean, it is so yummy. You just want to actually have it as a snack. I mean, that's really how great it is. So I just get, either you get a whole cauliflower head and you rice it. You can do it on a, on a shredder. I sometimes go for convenience, and as long as I can find a good product in the supermarket, I'll go with the convenience. I did the convenience today because, well, let's just face, when you've been gone for a week, you don't want to have a whole bunch of things that you have to do, and I kind of, you know, we're busy. Sometimes we're just busy, so you want to cut down some time, and that's what I'm going to show you what you can do. I buy the Green Giant. There's probably some more at Trader Joe's. I actually think Trader Joe's has a organic one, but they didn't have it Publix today, an organic rice cauliflower. But what I love about this one is no additional additives. Some of these darn guys that they'll get, you'll gotta watch those labels, that they'll add sugar into it, they'll add some seasoning. No, you add your own seasoning. You do not need to have other people add seasonings, because what they're gonna do is they're gonna put it with products that you don't wanna put in your body. So use the fresh herbs and spices, and it will turn out amazing. So what I'm gonna do with this rice cauliflower, I'm gonna take my salsa, and I'm gonna get the juice from the salsa. That's gonna be the flavor base, right? Then I'm gonna add a little bit of cumin to just give it a little bit of different, like a little more of a brown coloring. And I'm gonna add some cayenne pepper, and I'm gonna add in some chipotle. I'm gonna use these three. I'm gonna use these three. So I'm gonna use the chipotle, I'm gonna use the cayenne, and I'm gonna use the Cajun, all right? With some cumin. And I'm gonna go with this one for Dan-O's, all right? And the salsa, and that's it. Now, if you have a few extra vegetables, like you need peppers, yellow, green, to make it colorful, by all means, add that in. And if you don't, then just take your extra cilantro, use your scissor, right, and snip it into the pan as it's cooking. And it'll just have this incredible, robust flavor. I didn't save any of the garlic cloves, but if I had some more garlic cloves, I would put that in as well. So now that I realized I didn't save even a couple, I think I'll just do that before our guests arrive tonight, so that we'll have some garlic into that. When you do that into this cauliflower rice, it's gonna be probably the rice of choice. But let's just say you're a yellow rice kind of person. If you are, we use, well, this is the one that the store is carrying, but this is a good product. I love this product. But it's a yellow rice, and what they do with this one is that they put some Spanish style seasoning in it already. So that's great. But the other thing that I like is, if I don't use this particular one, I'll just use a long grain yellow rice that doesn't have any seasoning added. Again, the more seasonings that you're out of control of putting in, it's probably not what you really want to be doing. But, you know, again, if this is what some people enjoy, you know, this is my go-to. The rice, the cauliflower is my go-to. But some people like to have the Spanish style rice, and it's just, it's good. And then finally, I'm gonna make 3 kinds of beans, because they're just so good on the carnitas. So I'm gonna just make some traditional refried, and then I'm just gonna make the black beans, but I'm gonna really cook them down. So this is gonna cook for 20 minutes, so this will have to cook a little longer. And then I have some mixed chili chipotle refried, because I love chipotle and some people don't. So I've got some guests coming today for dinner, so I wanted to have a mixture of both. Now, the other thing that I'm going to prepare is I'm going to prepare a whole bunch of little sides, because people like to add different things to their carnitas, you know, to their tacos, or to their lettuce wraps, because I'm going to make some lettuce wraps as well. Make some really healthy choices. So one of the things that I'm going to do is this mango is just absolutely beautiful. I'm going to cut this up and cube it into nice little tiny cubes, so we can have that as an option to put onto the carnita. I'm going to use this red onion, and I'm going to dice it up and have it as a side. And I'm going to use a regular onion and dice it up, so if people don't want to have the red onion makes it a little bit more sweet. Some people like to have just the Vidalia. And then I'm going to have a lot of limes cut up, because there's nothing better than having fresh limes cut up. And I'll cut up also some cilantro, just to have really, really bite-sized little teeny things to put on top of on top of the carnita as well. And then I'll have, for people who are using the corn tortilla, I'm actually going to have a little bit of shredded lettuce from the second set of bib lettuce that I bought. So that'll make it easy. And then I'm also going to make some fresh, I'll make some slices of avocado, but I'm going to also make some guacamole because there's nothing better than having really excellent guacamole. So if you're missing the salsa recipe or you're missing the guacamole recipe, that's going to be on Lifestyle by Laura J on my YouTube channel. So I made that so many moons ago, you wouldn't be able to find that in the Facebook feed, but you'll be able to find it on YouTube. So that's one place to get that. So we'll have some salsa on the side, we're going to have some guacamole on the side, and we'll have all of those wonderful side pieces. So tortillas, let me just talk about tortillas. Now there are some places that have some bang up tortillas, and I'm sure here in St. Augustine, if you're in St. Augustine and you want to direct me to one of the best kitchens to hop over to and pick up some really, really great corn tortilla, I would love that connection. So please send me a private message about that so that I can go and find those. But right now, what I found today, what I like about the product I found today, I picked the gluten-free Mission, the extra thin. I picked those. Now they do tend to get really thin, but when you fry these up, and I'll just put some coconut oil on the bottom of a frying pan, and I actually don't even use a frying pan, I use a cast iron skillet. So I use the cast iron, I get it really hot, and I get these super hot and cooked on both sides. So to make them a little bit more pliable and less where they won't tear. And you know, with this great meat that will come out of it, they will get a little soggy, so you want to make sure you cook them. And just, you know, a little bit, fry them both sides. It almost feels like they're not quite to the point of a tostito, but you know, nice and cooked and hard. So makes it a little bit easier to eat from. But what I do like about this is that there is low sodium, and when you take the fiber, now if you look at the total carbohydrate and you take the fiber away, you know, that's what you end up as the rest of the carbs. So that's what I love about this particular product. Plus they're so super small and super thin that, you know, for people who are really watching, like in our program, you have a calorie count in your fork and knife, and this would be considered our fork and knife meal. You want to stay 600 calories or less. So, and if you're, you know, this is a healthy lifestyle, so you get to have choices. It's like you can't have one, or you can choose to have another. But really, you know, it's about having a great balance. So I love that because you could have 3 of these for what the serving is, and it's just amazing. So I also like that. And when you put all those little extra ingredients up on top, you'll feel like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like I get to have tacos. My God, this is amazing. Anyway, that's what we're going to do with those. We'll fry those up. So that's it. I'm waiting for this to cook now. My husband did get home, and I haven't seen him in over 7 days. So I'm so excited we were kind of crossing paths, and thank God we have so many people who are helping us with Rio. Thank you, Mark and Melissa. Love you guys for helping. That's the meal. I hope that you enjoyed today's cooking show, and I will show you all of the plates. You know, I'll plate it and show you what it looks like at the end of when everything is cooked. And thank you again. Remember, if you haven't said where you hail from, please say where you're hailing from. Leave a quick message if there's any questions that you have. Don't hesitate to use Messenger and message me. If you want to follow me first so you don't miss any of the recipes that we have in the future coming weeks, or my live broadcast, just make sure you hit follow first so that you see me first and whenever I go live. And then if you are interested in looking at any of the other shows, I'm on Lifestyle by Laura J on my YouTube channel. So welcome. If this is your first visit, thank you so much for joining us. And if you've come back again, welcome back. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.